Hello children, good morning to all of you. Welcome back in physics class. We have started the third chapter, laws of motion. In the previous video you have studied the second law of motion. Today we are going to start the third law of motion. And what is the third law of motion? Newton says that if you apply some force on a body, then the body will also apply the same amount of force on yourself, and the direction of that force will be opposite to the force applied by you. That means the third law of motion says that to every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. Means suppose that this is a surface. On this surface, one object is kept whose mass is m. Then the weight of the object will apply the force downward, and this weight will be equal to m into z. The weight of the body will apply a force downward. It will act downward. Then this surface will also apply a force in opposite direction, and here this reaction force will be equal to m into g. Understood? Both the force will be equal. That is why it is balanced. Otherwise, if the weight of the object is more than this reaction force, then object will come down. This surface will be broken. Understood? The amount of force applied by the object is always equal to the force applied by the surface. That is why when we keep any object on a table, the object does not go downward, because how much force this object is applying on the table, same amount of force the table is also applying on the object. Understood? Now, after this topic, you can see some examples here. When a boatman drives a boat, from his oar he pushes the water backside. Then water pushes the boat in front direction and boat moves. There are many examples which you can read in your books. Okay. Now the next topic which we are going to study is the gravitation. In the gravitation, the first topic we will study is universal gravitational force. Universal gravitational force. Newton says that in the universe all the objects are applying the force on each other. Every object, the sun is applying the force on earth, earth is applying the force on sun, moon is also applying the force on earth, earth is applying the force on moon, moon is applying the force on sun, sun is also applying the force on moon, and so many. All the objects in the universe are applying the force on each other. That force is called universal gravitational force. Newton says that if there are two objects, suppose one object having the mass m1, another object having the mass m2, and both are attracting each other, according to Newton gravitational law, these objects are attracting each other. Then the force by which they are applying each other, that will be directly proportional to the product of their masses. The attraction gravitational force between two objects is directly proportional to the product of their masses. And suppose that the distance between them is r, then this force is inversely proportional to the square of their distance. The force between objects are inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. If we combine both, we can see that F is proportional to m1 into m2 upon r square. In science, to remove the proportionality, we use one constant. Here use constant term is g. G m1 m2 upon r square. So this is the formula for universal gravitational force, where capital G is a constant and it is called universal gravitational constant. The value of universal gravitational constant is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. This is the unit of universal gravitational constant. How this value is coming, we will see later. Okay, now see. This is the universal gravitational force. The next term is force due to gravity. On the earth, every object feels some attraction force by the earth. So the attraction force by the earth on the object, that is called force due to gravity. That means every object is attracted by the earth towards its center. So the force by which the earth attracts the object is called the force due to gravity. Okay, what is the force due to gravity? Every object is attracted by the earth towards its center. So the force by which the earth attracts the object is called the force due to gravity. It is always equal to the weight of the object. Force due to gravity is always equal to the weight of the object. Okay, now acceleration due to gravity. We know that during the free fall means when an object falls towards the earth, towards the surface of the earth, then its velocity increases. Velocity increases means the acceleration is produced in it, and that acceleration is increased. That acceleration is constant. During the free fall, the acceleration due to gravity is constant. That is called acceleration due to gravity. Means during the free fall, the velocity of the falling object is increased at a constant rate. That means the acceleration is produced in the falling body which is called acceleration due to gravity. Okay, acceleration due to gravity means when one object falls towards the earth, means during the free fall its velocity increases at a constant rate. It means acceleration is produced in the body. That produced acceleration is called acceleration due to gravity. It is denoted by small g, and its value is approximate 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, unit of g is meter per second square and its value is approximate 9.8. Okay, note it down. Okay, now we are going to solve some numericals based on the third chapter. So see some questions I have written here. First question is, calculate the magnitude of force which when applied on a body of mass 0.5 kg produces an acceleration of 5 meter per second square. Children, whenever you are solving numericals, first note down the given points. Here mass is given 0.5 kg and acceleration has been given. Acceleration is 5 meter per second square. Therefore, force denoted by F, we know that force is equal to mass into acceleration. That means 0.5 is multiplied by 5 and unit of force is Newton. So it is 5 into 0.5 is 2.5 Newton. The magnitude of force will be 2.5 Newton. Understood? This is directly based on the formula. Now see the second one. A force of 10 Newton. It is given that force F is equal to 10 Newton on a body of mass 2 kg. Mass means small m. 2 kg for 3 seconds. That means time t is given 3 seconds. Initially at rest. Initially at rest means initial velocity. Initial velocity, which is denoted by u, is equal to 0. These points have been given. And question is asking, the first part is the velocity acquired by the body. In the first part, you have to find final velocity, which will be v. This you have to find. After 3 seconds, what will be the velocity that we have to find? You can see that v you have to find, u is given, t is given. If you can find acceleration a, then you can apply the first law of motion, v equal to u plus at. Now think, force and mass is given. With the help of these two, you can find the acceleration. Since acceleration a is equal to F upon m, that means 10 upon 2, because 10 Newton is the force, 2 kg is the mass. So 10 upon 2 means 5, and unit of acceleration is meter per second square. That means acceleration is 5 meter per second square. Now you can find the velocity. from V equal to U plus AT. From this formula, V is equal to 0 plus 5 into 3. That means 15 meter per second. The velocity acquired by the body will be 15 meter per second. Understood? Therefore, the velocity acquired by the body is equal to 15 meter per second. Now see the second part. Second part is change in momentum. Change in momentum is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum minus initial momentum. This is the formula. Momentum formula is m into v. So here final velocity will be m into v and initial velocity will be m into u. This is the formula for momentum, mass, product of mass into velocity. So final momentum is mv. Mass is 2 kg. V we have got 15. Means 2 into 15. Minus 2 into 0 because initial velocity is 0. So you can see that 15 into 2 is 30 kilogram meter per second. Change in momentum is 30 kilogram meter per second. Understood? Now see the third question. A force causes an acceleration of 10 meter per second square. That means acceleration has been given 10 meter per second square of mass 500 gram. It is given in gram, convert it into kilogram. 500 upon 1000 means 0.5 kilogram. If acceleration is 10 and mass is 0.5, you can find the force. Therefore, force in 500 gram body is equal to m into a. That means 10 into 0.5, that is 5 Newton. That means the force which is causes an acceleration of 10 meter per second square in a body of mass 500 gram is 5 Newton. Now the next part is what acceleration will be caused by the same force. That means this 5 Newton force will create how much acceleration in the body of mass 5 kg. So that is the second part. Therefore, acceleration by this force in 5 kg mass is equal to force is equal to acceleration is equal to force upon mass. Now put the value and get your answer. 5 Newton is the force, 5 kilogram is the mass. 5 upon 5 is 1. That means 1 meter per second square is the acceleration produced by the same force. Understood? Now note down these questions. Pause the video and note down. Okay, now see these two questions. The fourth question is, a car is moving with a uniform velocity of 30 meter per second. That means initial velocity is given 30 meter per second. It is stopped. It is stopped by applying brakes. That means final velocity is 0. In 2 seconds, that means time is 2. By applying a force of 1500 Newton through its brakes. See, these points have been given. a car is moving with a uniform velocity of 30 meter per second. It is stopped by applying brakes in 2 seconds and by applying a force of 1500 Newton through its brakes. By reading these two statements, we have got initial velocity 30 meter per second, final velocity 0, time 2 seconds and force 1500 Newton. Now the first part. First part of the question is the change in momentum. The change in momentum is equal to, have you remembered? According to the Newton's second law, the rate of change of momentum is equal to force. That means delta P upon T is equal to F. So change in momentum will be F into T. That means force into time. This is from the Newton's second law. Okay, second law of motion. So put the value and calculate it. 1500 Newton is the force, 2 seconds is the time. That means 3000 and momentum unit is kilogram meter per second. This is the unit of momentum. Understood? Change in rate of change of momentum is equal to force. That means change in momentum upon time is equal to force. So change in momentum is equal to force into time. Okay? Now see the second one. The retardation. Retardation means acceleration. That is also acceleration. So see here, initial velocity, final velocity and time is given. So from the first equation of motion, V is equal to Vu minus AT. From the first equation of motion, in the case of retardation, here the sign becomes negative. Okay, now put the value and calculate the retardation. This is 0, this is 30 minus A into 2. That means 2A equal to 30, so A equal to 15 meter per second square. That means retardation is equal to 15 meter per second square. Understood? Now the third point, mass of the car. We know that mass is equal to force upon acceleration. Force is given 1500 and acceleration we have found here 15. That means 100 kilogram is the mass of the car. Okay? Therefore, mass of the car is equal to 100 kilogram. Now see this question. The force of attraction between two bodies at a certain separation is 10 Newton. What will be the force of attraction between them if the separation is reduced to half? Suppose there are two bodies. One body is M1, another body is M2, and the separation between them is R. In this case, force is equal to G M1 M2 upon R square, and this is equal to 10 Newton. This is given. Understood? Suppose the two bodies are of mass M1 and M2 and the distance between them is small r, then from the universal gravitational law, F is equal to G M1 M2 upon R square, where G is the universal gravitational constant. Now, if R is reduced half, that means suppose the new separation is R by 2, then what will be the force? Then new force, suppose it is F dash, this will be equal to G m1 m2 upon r dash whole square. Try to understand this. In the first case, when m1 is the mass, m2 is the mass, r is the distance between m1 and m2, then F is equal to G m1 m2 upon r square. This is the universal gravitational force between two bodies. It is given 10 Newton. Now question is asking if separation is reduced to half. Suppose the new distance is r dash. Suppose that the new separation is r dash. That means it will be equal to r by 2. Now the new force will be, if new force is F dash, then it should be G m1 m2 upon r dash whole square. Is this clear? Now put the value of r dash here. G m1 m2 upon r by 2 whole square. If you solve it, this 2 square will come up. That means 4 into G m1 m2 upon r square. You will get this term. Is this understood? R square upon 4. That 4 will come up. So I have written 4 separate. 4 into G m1 m2 upon r square. And this m1 m2 r square into G is equal to F. That means the new force will become the 4 times. If the separation is reduced to half, the force will become 4 times. Therefore, the force of attraction becomes 4 times. Okay, now again pause the video and note down these questions. We will do some more. Okay, now see some more questions. Okay, the sixth question is, the weight of a body on earth is 98 Newton, where the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second square. That means on the earth, gravity is 9.8. What will be its mass and weight on moon, where acceleration due to gravity is 1.6 meter per second square? So see this one. Weight on the earth. Weight on the earth is 98 Newton and acceleration due to gravity. Gravity on earth is 9.8 meter per second square. Therefore, mass on the earth will be weight upon gravity, because W is equal to m into g. So m is equal to W upon g. W is the weight, g is the 9.8. Understood? This is the gravity. So from here you can find the mass on the earth. When you divide it, it will come 10. So 10 kg. Mass on the earth is 10 kg. We know that mass of the body is never changed. Either it is on the moon, either it is on the earth or in the space. Mass of the object remains the same. That means mass of the body on the moon is also 10 kg. Now you have to find the weight on the moon. Weight of the body on the moon. Weight is equal to mass into gravity. Mass is 10 and gravity on the moon is 1.6. So 10 into 1.6 Newton. By multiplying it, you can see that 16 Newton is the weight of the body on the moon. Understood? Weight on the earth is given and gravity on the earth is given. So with the help of it, you can find the mass on the earth. Mass of the body on the earth you have got since mass is never changed, so mass of the body on the moon will be also 10. And when mass you have got, acceleration on the moon is given 1.6, so you can find the weight on the moon. Weight on the moon is m into g, that means 10 into 1.6, which is equal to 16 Newton. Okay, now see the last question. A ball is thrown vertically upwards. See this one. Suppose that the ball is thrown from here. It goes up to 20 meter. Okay, till height h 20 meter. Here some initial velocity will be there. It goes up to 20 meter. That means the final velocity becomes 0. This point you have to understood. And g, acceleration g is equal to 10 meter per second square. These points have been given. Okay. First part, you have to find the initial velocity. From here you can see, from the earth when the object is thrown in upward direction, it is reaching to the 20 meter height and their velocity becomes 0. So by using these, can you find the value of u? Which equation of motion you will apply? V, U, G and H is given. This 20 meter is the H. That means V square is equal to U square minus 2GH. Third equation of motion during the gravity. When gravity, acceleration due to gravity is there, in that case this equation will be applied. Okay, now put the value and calculate it. V square will be 0 because final velocity is 0. Initial velocity you have to find 2 into 10 into 20. That means u square minus 400. That means u square is 400. So u is equal to 20 meter per second, because square root of 400 is 20. So initial velocity is 20 meter per second. Initial velocity is equal to 20 meter per second. From the given points you have got this idea that you have to apply third equation of motion. Is this clear? Initial velocity u, from which the object is thrown, it is reaching to the 20 meter. That means at 20 meter its velocity becomes 0. If velocity does not become 0, then it can go more, it can cover the more height. Understood? But according to the question, it is reaching to the 20 meter height, means the final velocity is 0. Acceleration due to gravity is 10 meter given in the question. So you have concluded that we have to apply v square is equal to u square minus 2gh. By solving it, you have got initial velocity 20 meter per second. Now see, the final velocity of the ball on reaching the ground. Now see, from here the object is starting returning. In the first case, the ball is going upward, but in the second case the ball is coming downward. In this case, initial velocity will be 0. Final velocity we have to find. Height will be same, 20 meter. Gravity is also 10 meter per second square. Are you watching from here? Again we have to apply the third equation of motion. Now in the second case, suppose the final velocity is v dash. So v dash square is equal to u dash square minus 2gh. V dash square we have to find. This is 0. 2 into 10 into 20. It is coming. This will be positive sign because the object is coming towards the object is falling on the earth. Okay, so this will be positive. So this has become 400. If v dash square is 400, then v dash will be 20 meter per second. That means final velocity of the ball on reaching the ground. On reaching the ground is equal to 20 meter per second. Now the third, the total time of journey of the ball. Now see, what will be the total time? See here, in the first case, suppose the time is t1. In the second case, suppose the time is t2. So first, from ground to 20 meter height, V, U, T and G. From here we can find the value, na? V is equal to U plus GT by applying that formula. So you can divide it into two parts. From the ground to 20 meter height. In this case, V is equal to U minus G T1. We will apply this formula. V is equal to 0. U we have got 20. G is 10. T1 we have to find. So from here you can see that T1 will be equal to 20 by 10 means 2 seconds. In 2 seconds the ball will reach from ground to 20 meter height. Now from 20 meter height to ground, how much time it will take? See, in the second case is from height to ground. Suppose in this case time is t2, then V dash is equal to U dash plus GT2. V dash is 20, U dash is 0 plus 10 into T2. Okay, so again you can see that T2 is equal to 20 by 10 means 2 seconds. So total time of journey will be T1 plus T2, that means 4 seconds. Understood? I have shown you the whole process, how much time is taken when the object is reaching from ground to 20 meter height, how much time it is taking from 20 meter height to ground, and then we will add both the time and we are getting 4 seconds. Okay, for today this much is enough. We will meet in the next class. Okay, bye bye.